Okay, can you talk about your experience as a Punjabi Sikh and the struggles working in the arts?
Okay. So it's something that we touch base on all the time, and only recently it's become a lot easier. I mean, starting off, you don't see yourself in this field or doing the arts because it's not meant for you, and everyone doing it doesn't look like you. So it's a very foreign concept to put yourself out there and be like, hey, I am a painter, I am a musician, because in the Western world, no musician or no painter looks like you. And it's something that we explored in Girva.
I think for myself, especially being a Punjabi female Sikh actor, it's difficult to see myself or people that look like me on screen. Even playing the lead was actually something that I never thought would happen because, you know, when you look at mainstream media, even if you look at Bollywood, you don't really see Sikh Punjabi faces. So it was really foreign to me to even think that this was a possibility. You know, I always saw myself playing the side roles and, you know, not even taking the lead to be a director and producing my own stuff and my own content. I thought that was a distant dream, and now that you know we've been able to see how you know the work that we've done and what we've done together. I think that we've been able to understand that this is it's very possible for us to be able to pursue our dreams.
And I think it's like, at first we looked at it as like a disadvantage, like, but we're brown but we're women, like it's so much harder. But then like when you come to a realization, we're like, whoa, we're so different than like larger mainstream society, and that's such a great thing.
It's an asset.
It's an asset because that means you have stories and you have experiences that most people don't have.
Exactly.
So like as a writer, I can talk about all these things that like so many of my counterparts won't be able to talk about because they haven't had like the experiences of being colored within the society or being an immigrant within the society. And so that's how I think you really got to take it. Like, use your differences as like your weapon and not as a disadvantage.
And I think honestly telling your stories through that, like ourselves, we've been able to use our art to tell our stories and expression to explain the diasporic stories. I think that all the work that I ever do is inspired by the diaspora and what we've struggled with, and you know, having immigrant parents, what's that like, and you know, being able to express those stories with an art, it's allowed people to feel like they can relate to it, and you realize that, oh wow, you're not the only one that's going through this. There's so many people that need this, that are starving for this kind of art.
Whole like generations of them. I mean, I always say like the first generation of settlers, like, there's something so unique about them, and they're so hungry, and I always say this all the time, but I'm like, it's because of the fact that like you leave home to find home here, but like you come here and everyone here says that this isn't home because home doesn't look like you. But then you go back home and then everyone there is like, you know, you're too different, so this is not your home. So we are a generation of folks that are in this like middle place, in between this bridge, kind of being pulled apart into both places. And it's so crucial and it's so important to document that, because there's only ever going to be like one first generation in your family, you know, and no one is going to document that story better than you, because you're that authentic voice.
And is there anything from Sikhi itself, or the Guru, or something, Sikh, that you, this one, that has helped you or inspired you, or that you in your personal life latch onto, or is in your heart?
Oh God, yeah.
I think Sikhi, honestly, for me, is beyond dimensions. I think that I've learned so much about Sikhi within my journey. I want to aspire to grow and understand more about my truth, and understand what it's like to have this universal energy, and what it's like to really understand equality, and how do you look at someone as Waheguru as well. So I got really spiritual there, but I feel like that's what it's like for me, and I'm just constantly learning. As being a Sikh woman, how do we show the face of Sikh women. What does that look like? You know, we were so used to seeing images of Sikh men and know exactly what it's like when we, you know, when we refer to Sikhs, we always think of a Sikh male, and you know that means a dastard and a beard, but we don't really get a chance to understand what Sikh females look like, and we haven't been able to explore that until recently. So I think with women coming on the forefront, we're able to now, you know, change the dialogue, and
I think there's so much what a lot of people miss is like for example, like growing up, it was something that I missed because I've never had the chance to explore it by myself. I just took everything that was thrown at me and like, this is what Sikhi is and this is what you're supposed to do if you're a Sikh. Like there was so many rules and it was so rigid that automatically I was like, oh, okay, I don't feel like I fit into this, right? But I've been learning over the years that like Sikhi encompasses so much of what I do and what I believe in. Like the idea of equality and like learning that Guru Nanak was one of like, he was a feminist in the like 1400s. Like how crazy is that, you know? Because we were reading in like, because I was in the English program and we were reading Canterbury Tales, and then my professor was talking about how like forward that writing was, and I'm like, this is so misogynist, but then I felt so proud because I was like, well, you know, Guru Nanak was like walking around Pakistan and he was like light years ahead of all of this, you know, and learning that like Guru Gobind Singh Ji, he had hired poets to create literature, and like Sikhi values the arts so much, poetry, art, writing, like all of that, and that just makes me feel so grounded in the work that I do. Like the Guru Granth Sahib, it's an art, immaculate book of poetry, basically, at the end of the day, right? And like, I think that's so moving and that's so inspiring, and there's something in Sikhi for everybody, you know? And we just have to be accepting and open and allow everyone to find their own path in it, because that's what it's about.
I think that's a really important topic to kind of discuss. I think we are, as the Qom, we've kind of become like narrow-minded on what Sikhi is and how do we influence other people, but I think
because people are like, oh, we're just trying to protect it, so we're gonna be, you know, more rigid and more all these things, but
we need to be more supportive in people's journeys and allowing it, because I think when we're boxing people in on what ideals we think Sikhi are, we feel
or our own ideals, then people don't want to have anything to do with it.
Exactly, but I think people like myself and Rupi, we've had the opportunity to explore it on our own, and it's much more rewarding in that sense, and I think now we're connected on a whole different level.
Because there was at a point where I lost all my touch with it, and then
I felt the same way as well.
And coming back into it on your own, like there's nothing like it, you know?
And I think also all the work that I do is inspired by Sikhi. I mean, the names that I come up with, you know, the stories behind it, what do I want to share with the world? It's all based on Sikh principles.
Last point was, what's your message for the youth, younger girls or younger kids in general?
Okay.
So I feel that us two, we've had the experience of struggling through so many hardships of trying to get where we are right now, but I want all of you to know that we're doing it for you, so it's easier for you to, you know, pursue the arts as it wasn't for us, but I think it's now, you know, I feel like I've been doing it for the youth. If I couldn't, I want to be the role model that, you know, kids I didn't have, and I think that that's important for the youth to understand that now that you do see all these people, all these Sikh artists that are, you know, arising, or, you know, all these Sikh role models that are in different fields, whether it being politicians, whether it being businessmen or women, whether it being artists, you can pursue anything you really truly want.
It's like easier now than ever, I think, like with the resources and like how the technology that we have, it's only getting more and more affordable, more and more accessible. And I mean, had I seen like a Punjabi Sikh woman do spoken word poetry, you know, within like the modern world, had I seen that growing up, I think I would have gotten into it a lot sooner, right? So like, and I know that everyone, like, we meet so many folks like throughout our journey, and everyone has an artist sitting inside of them. Like as a human being, you're an artist, right? You have art like within your blood, and explore that and share that, and make the world a beautiful place. Because I always say we pollute the world so much, and like our giving of our art is a way to like reverse that pollution and give back in a positive way. Yeah.
Keep it going, kids. We love you. That's it.
Yeah.
Waheguru ka khalsa,
Waheguru ji ki fateh. Blowing kisses and doing fathehs.
If you like this video, click the like button.
And if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe.
Sicknet actually was Sicknet, shout outs to you. Thank you for allowing us to use your platform to bring ourselves out there. And
actually, that was the first time I ever put myself out there.